on. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to welcome the Miss Tara Patten, fashion stylist and image coach. But Tara is so much more than that. She is also a digital marketer. She is the host of the Power of Fashion podcast. And she is one of my favorite people on this planet and has really brought my own business to life and brought me back to life on many occasions. And I just love her energy. You will too. I cannot wait to have this interview with her and give you some insights and inspiration if you feel like you are going through difficult times. This podcast is really designed for you to have that hope and that inspiration no matter where you are in your life and how to come through some of those difficult times and what beautiful life is awaiting you on the other side. And Tara is such a beautiful example of that. Welcome, Tara.
Wow. Thank you for that incredible introduction, Christine. I'm so glad to be here with you today.
This is so much fun. So already I'm having fun. Like Tara and I have a lot of fun together. Very playful spirits combined. It's just like magic. She was also a big part of the creation of my Feed Your Soul video. If you haven't watched it yet, you definitely want to check that out on YouTube. And she was an incredible support and director through that whole process. So Tara, I am just so curious. I mean, you have this beautiful, just looking at your website and seeing all the things that you've done in your life, you have this amazing presence about you. I want to get to the nitty gritty of your story of where you have come from. So I would love to hear a little bit more of like, who is Tara Patten before she was the Tara Patten that everybody sees today?
That is an incredible question. And thank you for asking. And it's funny because I recently told a friend of mine that I was a slashy, and she's like, "What's that?" I was like, "I'm a makeup artist slash stylist slash marketer slash podcast host slash." And because when people ask you, what do you do? It's like, do I really have to keep it in one little box, or can I just be a slashy? And I think we should all be slashies, right? Because we all have so many gifts and so many talents. And for me, that journey of finding exactly, what I'm on this planet to do has been relentless. And probably the most critical thing that has driven me throughout my career is to find that one thing, And what I've learned through all of this is there isn't just one thing, there is gifts that you come into this world with. And I strongly believe that there is no finding yourself. There is no creating yourself. There is just a matter of removing everything that is in the way of who we truly are and who we come to this world to be. And it's super important that we, as the powerful creators that we are, especially as females, stop believing all of the lies and the programming and the BS that we've been told since childhood, which is actually the reality from my experience of what blocked me off from abundance, from a healthy relationship, from all kinds of, gifts that the universe wants to give me. And it's really important, I think, that more and more people understand that the journey is the destination, right? What we're trying to do here on this planet and what we're all called to do is so necessary. And we have chosen, I believe, to be here and to experience this world, which is a physical world, in a spiritual way. And so just to give you like the answer to your question, and that was kind of framing it, because the journey has helped me to realize that like these things, these conversations that we're having right now, these relationships, these things that are just so powerful and so important, that's how we connect. That's how we get more spiritual, is we have relationships with other people. We have conversations with other people. We do things with and for other people. We serve other people. And through those processes is when I get out of the thinking about what I'm here to do and what I'm supposed to be, and really understanding, that it's like, who can I show up for? How can I show up?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
and for me, as like for Feed Your Soul, for example, that was a that was such a fun project that we did in Brooklyn. And, I did the makeup and the styling, and we went shopping and we had a blast. But what was beautiful about that, again, was, we created something that you had been working on for a very long time, and we sort of brought it to life. And I feel like that is probably the best example of what it is that I have done throughout my career. I've masterminded with people, that have ideas or come up with my own and said, okay, this is in my head, I have to bring it out. And the beauty of that is I never realized that was my gift, and that was what I was here to do, that I was a visionary, that I can see how people can wear an outfit differently, or wear makeup differently, or style their business online differently, or use, different processes or systems that will just simplify their life so they don't have to do all the BS they don't want to do,
Mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
and we don't ever realize that. And for anybody that's listening, your gifts are probably something that you don't even realize are your gifts.
Yeah, because they feel like almost like this is just who I am. Or
Yeah,
not even that. Like I feel like often I say I get paid to be who I am. And that feels weird because often we think we have to be this, fit in the box of some sort to fit into the world versus be our most authentic selves. So
exactly.
I love so many things of what you've already said. That connection with other people, bringing those dreams to fruition. So I want to get into in a bit how to bring those dreams into fruition. But before we do that, I want to go back to what box were you living in that was inauthentic to who you were, that you had to break free from?
That's a really great question. And since I was a little kid, I was put into commercials. I was a professional model as a teenager. I remember I was in a beauty pageant, just one, and I made it all the way to the finals because I was, I'm not ugly, and and that's how you get to the finals in beauty pageants, right?
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
they ask you these questions, right? And it's because you're supposed to be pretty and smart, and I'm pretty and honest, right? So they ask the questions, and you pull from the fishbowl. And my question was, if you could be anybody, who would you be and why? And at the time, in the mid '90s, and working on my modeling career, I said what I thought was a good answer was Nikki Taylor, who was the biggest supermodel at the time. And one day I want to be just like her. And there was this, like, you could hear a pin drop. There was this silence. And I look over and I see my mom, and she's just got her head in her hands, like, oh, she just blew it. That's it. But it was honest. It was the real answer. You're supposed to say, oh, like my mom or Mother Teresa or something. And
Okay,
so, of
yeah.
course, I ended up in fourth place in this beauty pageant. And this judge came up to me at the end and goes, you had that in the bag. You had that in the bag. Why couldn't you have said this or that? I said, because that wouldn't have been true.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time, at 15, 14, however old I was, that, like, that was one of my, gifts, was this divine truth that I can see people for the truth of who they are. I can see these things. I can also smell BS from a mile away, like, I am
Yeah.
so in alignment with the truth. And it is so uncomfortable for me to do anything else but see and share and tell the truth. And that's one of the things I love about working with my clients, is it's like, there's always a way, like, especially with shopping, with clients who are looking for specific looks or something like that. Instead of saying, like, that looks terrible on you when you're in a dressing room, right? Like, honesty without compassion is brutality, right? Like, you have to say,
Okay.
I think we can do better, like, you
Yeah.
know, even
Oh, I like
though,
that. Yeah.
yeah, even though your front butt's showing, no, I'm just kidding. I have one too, but you don't tell people things that are mean, right? You find a way to say things that leave room for improvement.
Yeah.
And so, I'll never forget. So my point of all of this story is, I was in this box of where I had to perform. I was given, scripts and notes. I even moved to LA, and I thought I wanted to be an actor in my 20s. And there was just so much misalignment in all of it. And I lived in this place where I thought, oh, I could be pretty, I could be smart. And I tried to go to university. I went to Johns Hopkins. I thought I wanted to be a doctor for a moment, and then I fainted the sight of blood. Right. So I was trying on all these hats, and I was just like, no, 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 that's not it. And in the process of that, I became very empty. I became very, unhealthy in every way, from
Yeah.
what I was eating, and what I was, absorbing, who I was hanging out with.
Yeah. And
At
tell
my
me a little bit about that, some of that, like those, food and, drinking and like the, like physical, like habits that you had in that time.
Yeah, well, in my late 20s, I decided to go work on cruise ships.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever been on a cruise ship, that's pretty much like the most unhealthy place that you can be, especially for years on end.
Okay.
And that was sort of where it all exasperated. But I could see the seeds planting in those times in my teens and in my 20s, where I would make exceptions. I would make bad decisions. And that's really what they are, right? I would make choices that would
Yeah.
then create other opportunities to make more bad choices.
And what were
And
some of those bad choices?
so, for example, I have not drank alcohol in almost 5 years.
So you were drinking alcohol at those times. I feel like a
Because
lawyer, like, so you were drinking alcohol at these
yes,
times. I've been watching a
yes,
lot
Your
of
Honor,
legal
yes, Your
cases
Honor,
lately.
yes,
Yeah.
Your
Yeah. So you
yeah,
were
and
drinking,
I
you
was
were
abusing alcohol,
abusing alcohol. There you go.
yep, I was, and I had, and in that process, I was abusing other people. I was abusing myself.
Yeah.
I was, making very bad financial decisions. I have spent over six figures on coaching, mentors, courses, and all of them have contributed and helped me, and given me knowledge, and especially your program, it's changed my life. I loved it. You remember when I
Mhm.
was like, after the juice feast, I was like, I have this like sense of smell that's both good and
Yes.
bad. I feel like a superhero.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and it was amazing. But it's funny because you can't really shift your consciousness with knowledge.
Yeah.
You can't really, I mean, you can tell everyone, hey, here's your 90-day program, go do it, right? But what
Yeah.
everybody needs to do is have that accountability, have that person that's going to help them get over those humps. And
Yeah.
that person, if it needs to start outside of you, a coach is absolutely mandatory. But if you don't have a little coach inside your head saying, hey, maybe we should do that, or hey, like you can get to the gym today. For me, 90% of staying out of the bars and getting into the gym was convincing myself in my head that there was a better way, right? So if I don't go to the bar
Hmm.
one night, then I can get to the gym the next morning. But if I choose the bar, I'm also choosing to not go to the gym the next morning. So it was
Yeah.
just in a number of incidences. I got some drunk driving arrests, and
Wow.
just the consequences are real, and when you're
Yeah.
on a path, you're on a path. People think it's all fun and games, and some people can have a drink or two, and I am not someone to talk bad about alcohol was not my problem. It never was.
Yeah.
I was my problem, and I was
Mm,
treating it with alcohol, pot, very toxic partners, the wrong friends, just the
yeah.
wrong people. You become a part of what you are. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future at my lessons, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I want to know, in those sort of, what was sort of that rock bottom moment for you, and what was like that catalyst to start the changes? I know you've been now 5 years without alcohol, you've been rocking out, you've been doing amazing things, but what was sort of that real like rock bottom, like I need to change me, something inside me needs to shift, or the outside is not going to change?
Yeah, so I was living in London. I'm originally from London. I moved to America when I was 3, and then I moved back in 2015. And I was in London for a couple of years working on a project, a documentary about spirituality,
Mm,
imagine that. And I started to recognize that I had no roots, right? That
mm,
I was just really easily convinced by anyone or anything. I had no real roots into a belief system, into a community, into something that I really just wanted to just believe into and pour into. And so I was, when you don't stand for something, you fall for everything, right? And
oof.
there was a number of incidences that happened to me. I was stabbed in a nightclub, and I woke up. I went out on a Friday night, and I met these nice Irish people on the tube, as they call it, and they had this pink champagne. And I don't know about you, but pink champagne always Sounds a lot better than it tastes. And
Wow.
this particular Friday evening turned into me waking up on Monday morning in the hospital with a stab wound in my side. Um, and
Wow.
and I was like, what happened? Where am I? Where's all my stuff? And it's like, how did that happen? Right. I had no recollection of it. For anybody that's listening, blackouts are not normal. If you have them, it's not good. Um,
Yeah.
I needed somebody to tell me that, because
Yeah.
that's not normal. And I thought everybody that drank had them, and that it was just fun. What makes me the way that I am is because I don't know what's going to happen when I mix me with bad people, and other circumstances that are dangerous for me to
Yeah.
mix with me. So again, I want to really stress, like, alcohol is not bad. Pink champagne is
Yeah.
not bad. There's a really nice Moet Chandon that's about $7.50 a bottle, that I had in Napa once, and it was amazing. Like I don't ever want to,
Yeah, no, I
uh,
understand. And that's, I've always said that too. We look at these substances or the external factors like alcohol, like coffee, like anything, even food, as someone who works deeply with people and shifting their dietary habits, it's like the process is always inner first. It's not okay, it's not as simple as like, okay, just start eating these things. If it was that simple, everybody would just do it. It's way more of an inner journey. So you're wake up with a stab wound, you're going through this crazy life of drinking, toxicity, and not really finding that sort of, I guess self-love in a way, or that alignment. I love what you said, when you don't have anything to stand for, you will fall for anything. I think that's really powerful. Then what was it that then what was that catalyst? Now you're shifting into something else. Like, what shifted in your inner self, like in your brain, in your heart, that was like, I need to be different? And what did that journey start to unfold like?
I think that's a great question. And I think the difference from where I am now, very rooted, to somebody without roots, waking up in a hospital bed, where it started was asking for help,
Mm,
realizing that I was not in control, that I did not know what the hell I was doing, and I needed help.
yeah.
And I think that is the most courageous, humble thing that any of us can do. Look,
Mm,
especially as women, they tell us, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to, yeah. I mean, like, my sister has two special needs kids, and a husband, and all these things. And I don't envy her, right? Because it's like, it never stops. There's no days off.
yeah.
And that's what society expects, especially from women. So, but my point is, you have to ask for help. You have to say, okay, I can't do this, but
Hmm.
find other people that have done it, and then do what they tell you. Like, literally
Yeah.
that simple, and then you grow a
Yeah.
root, and then you find another person that you like what they say, you like their results, and in fact, don't so much listen to what people say as much as listen to what they do. Look at what they've
Mm,
produced, because
yeah.
that is really because people have said a lot of great things to me, and I've said a lot of great things, but what are your results,
What are your
right?
results? Yeah.
What are
Hmm.
your results? And like, even with, especially with food, it's, you know, I've heard so many things, you are what you eat. I have Hashimoto's, which is an
Hmm.
autoimmune disorder where
Yeah.
my body attacks my thyroid. And the thyroid is a butterfly shaped organ at the base of your neck, for anybody that doesn't
Hmm.
know. And as we get older, you have all kinds of hormonal stuff. And I just thought, and the doctors told me that there was nothing wrong with me. Everything was normal. I spent years like, my hair's falling out. Like, I just can't get out of bed. I have all this anxiety. I want to kill myself, like, and they were like, you're fine. Everything's normal. And I was like, this is not normal. Something is wrong with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so sometimes, just to reiterate, even when you ask for help and people tell you you're fine, you don't have a problem with alcohol or this, that, like, when in your heart that you need help, and like, just keep
Hmm.
asking until you find the people
Yes.
that can help you. And especially with Hashimoto's, that is treated by, nutrients and food, right? Like, I had to
Yeah.
change my diet. I had this big old belly, and I still battle with it, because if I eat a piece of cake, boom, I look like Santa Claus, and it's so
Yeah.
annoying, but
Yeah.
that's just like the way that my body works. So I think understanding how your body works, understanding, where your current level of consciousness is in reality. Like,
Yeah.
I did so much work around, finding out what my programming was and my starting point so that I could say,
Mm,
I don't like any of that. Actually, I don't like eating so much and feeling so bad after I eat. Like I would
mhm.
emotionally eat. Like I was,
Yeah.
I was not healthy at all. And I would make excuses, and then I would go on these binges where I would work out every day for 100 days in a row. I'd spend all
Mhm.
this money. I'd do all the things. I'd be like, okay. And I wouldn't see that much of a difference. And I'd be like, see, that doesn't work. I tried it. So it's like
Mhm.
this roller coaster with this battle. And then you see these people with these washboard abs and these perfect butts, and you just hate them. And you're just like, why can't I just be you? I work so hard. And in reality, the stress created by all of that is what was keeping my belly
Mm,
big, right? If I could just find somebody, like you that had the plan, that has, here you go, and just
yeah.
take the actions and follow the simple steps. And for me, that was the solution, was keeping it simple, was following the advice of coaches and others that had gone before me and that had what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress that enough, because that's really what it's about. It's about becoming that person that is mentally
Mhm.
disciplined. Every person that I've ever met that's lost, a lot of weight, like I've lost over 40 pounds, like I've gained it, lost it,
Yeah.
and I live within this 10-pound window now. And if I get over this, if I get into 11 pounds, I'm like, oh, I've got to go on a diet immediately, and
Mhm.
and that's critical mode. You don't need that in your life. That's why if you are making good choices on what you're
Mhm.
spending your time and energy doing, and hopefully that's, being a glow getter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, glow getting it. Then you will get those results, and then you will shift that consciousness, not by your own wisdom and things like that, but just through actions, those actions that get you out of the way, and you get into alignment with who you
Yeah.
truly are and who you're here to be. And it gets easier, and that's my favorite
Yeah.
part in the end. It gets so much easier once you're in that alignment, once you're not fighting yourself all the time.
Mm. Okay. So, what would you say? Like you hold obviously a very positive attitude now. You're such a go getter. You're always self improvement in this path of growth. What would you say to someone who's sort of stuck in that negative thinking? They feel like they're in that, like, I'm trying everything and nothing's working for me. What would you say to someone like that?
Great question. So gratitude shifted everything for me. Really
Mm-hmm.
looking at what it was I did have instead of always complaining about what I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Really looking. I remember I was almost 200 pounds, and I was complaining. I was shopping for a bathing suit, and I was complaining to a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm such fat, and I was calling myself all these names. And this lady who was much heavier than me came up to me and goes, I would give anything to look like you.
Mm. Goosebumps. Yeah, I remember in my one of my darkest moments was actually when I landed in Bali, and I remember sitting there and I'm in this villa with this tropical jungle view, like this spectacular dream world, and it was the most depressing time of my life. And that's when I realized it's never the outside that creates the inside. Like I could be there's a cute analogy of like two little kids, and one's in a big toy room, and they can be like, these toys suck, and a kid can be in a room full of like manure and be like, so excited because they're like, there must be a pony in here, and like you get so excited. And it really is that mental attitude. And I remember sitting there and saying thank you, like gratitude for that I could breathe every day. I was like, I could breathe. I'm not sick. I'm healthy. I'm alive. Like I have support. I have friends. I have people in my life that will help me. And I remember, like, I'm so grateful for this view. It's beautiful. And it took me almost 30 days, even in that, like living in paradise, to even come to a fraction of positivity. So I guess it's almost like, would you say like even just staying consistent and just, and I often say like, there's a part of us that just needs to die, that we need to let go of. There's like, it's letting go of this victim mentality that we tend to carry for so long, almost like it's like some people carry it for their whole lives, and we go on, and life I doesn't always get easier necessarily. It's like in a lot of ways, I think sometimes I'm like, my life is somewhat harder, but I'm more excited about it. I feel like, so what would you say to that? Like, even in now in your life now, you still have have challenges, and how do you maintain that sort of positivity? Do you just hold on to that gratitude?
Well, that's a really good point, and you touched on it when you said consistency. So I have
Mm-hmm.
daily practices in the morning, in the evening, throughout the day. I have, a team of people that I reach out to. I do not make decisions, especially big ones, without advice
Yeah.
from my people. And
Yeah.
I think it's very important to assemble that community very close. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it shouldn't. But that
Yeah.
close, I call them my six pack, right? And that's which is funny
Oh
because
my
I'm
gosh,
sober.
I love that.
Uh, and
I love that. I say that all the time too. I said it's not just me. I've got forces in my corner that really help me a lot.
I mean, if you think about it, every successful person I've ever known has two things: multiple streams of income and a team.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of great people, and with gratitude, even you can make a gratitude list all day long and this and that, but it is actually a conscious decision
Mm,
when you're complaining or when you're being negative, when you're feeling bad about yourself, to say, actually, but I could be that lady at the bathing suit store. you know
yeah,
Actually, I could be homeless. Actually, this car is getting me where I need to go. Maybe it's not so bad. you know
100%. Yeah.
Right. So like gratitude for me happens in those moments where I catch myself complaining and I reprogram that natural instinct to
Mm-hmm.
say, I don't have enough. Because when you think you don't have enough or what you have isn't good enough, guess what? You are a consumer. We are bred from childhood to be consumers and good employees. That's what we're taught
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
very small age. Just do what you're told and buy everything that you can, even if you can't afford it. Here's this
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
card. You can make payments. Like, no, stop
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
And those daily practices, and I'm sure you can attest that too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
start my morning with journaling, prayer, meditation. I finish my night with a daily review, and every day I'm a new person because I determine to learn something new. I set an intention for each day,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
very powerful. Today I'm going to eat healthy. Today I'm going to be really productive. Today I'm going to do this. I used to have like
Mm-hmm.
really long to-do lists. I don't know if you're guilty of this, but I would
Mm-hmm.
have like page with like 10 to 12 things on it. And it would be so overwhelming. I would probably do like one. And now I have top three priorities, and I burn through those. What are my absolute three priorities that I have to
Yeah.
get done today? And then I'm
Yeah.
actually so much more productive, and I can get those things that weren't even on the list because I'll be like bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang. And you just get this momentum through
Yeah.
a daily practice. So I highly
Yeah.
recommend a daily practice. The greatest tool ever, and the one that I used in that hospital room and a number of other times, was God help me. God help me.
Oh, I love that one. I feel like people don't call on that guidance as much as I don't think people, I always say a lot of people don't, even people who think they believe in God don't really know God. And there is this guidance that's always there, that's just like, just show me, like as humans we are meant to surrender to, like, show me, because as humans we're the screw ups, we can't do this without that. And I think, like, there's a book, Woman, Food, and God, that's like, it's really about like having God on your journey, the source on your journey, to help you eat better, right? Like, people are so hard on themselves and thinking that there's something wrong with them. And it's like, no, it's just like, we got to fuel in other ways. So now I want to get back to those dreams becoming fulfilled. So I know I'll have a lot of clients that come through the 90-day transformation, and they are, in a career that they maybe don't like. They're in a funk of 20 years, some of them, and they don't even really know what's on their heart to create. But some of them have those inner nudges of like, I want to, I think, and a lot of people, I think, have a nudge to help in some way, which I'm like, oh, there you go, that's a service right there. But so I guess the first question is to somebody who, because actually in a lot of ways, when I do say, I ask the question, what if you did know? When I ask, what do you want? Well, people are like, I don't know. Like, what if you did know? And it kind of can get revealed. So, but then once it's revealed, I think, what would you say is that somewhat of a formula or a insights that they can have to actually bring it to fruition? You talked about like calling on other people, calling on the support, getting the mentors. What else do you feel like they need to, bring that to life?
Well, that's the secret, right? And it's so funny you mentioned that because so many people don't know what they want when you ask them. But I love that you frame it like that, like, well, what if you did know? And
Yeah.
the thing is, the reason people say I don't know is because they do know, but it's too simple, and they think that can't be it, right? So they discount.
Hmm.
Like for me, I know I'm here on this earth to be a leader, to be a speaker, to call other people to their own highest good, to take that inner beauty and bring it to the outside and give them the confidence to do that and tell them the truth of who they
Yeah.
truly are. And no matter what you've been through, you know, to give them that new perspective. And I do that through a process of visualization. So
Mm,
I started when I was a makeup artist with Chanel. I did that because I took 4 months off when I left the ships, and I thought I made a list of all the things that brought me joy. What did I love doing? And it was a long list, but every day, the thing that I looked forward to doing the most, which I didn't even realize, was my makeup. And I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm really good at makeup, right? So I remember like marching into the Chanel store and being like, I want to be a makeup artist. And they're like, have you ever done that before? I was like,
Have you looked at this?
this is art, you know. And like I'm a makeup artist, and
It
I just
is.
went in there with so much confidence, and that
Yeah.
they actually happened to need someone, you know. But what was funny was something was put on my heart to go do that. To this day, I'm diehard Chanel fan. I think they're the best makeup on the market, and it's worth every penny, you know. And that was 10 years ago. So it's so funny because it was like a vision that got dropped, like, go do this. Like I got directed
Yeah.
through connecting and tapping in. So, and, you know, and I know you kind of touched on, you know, a lot of people do have this sort of, like oh, I don't want to talk about that thing that, you know, that religions talk about and stuff like that. And my understanding of what is powering us, because I know it's not me, right?
Yeah.
I don't beat my heart. I don't heal myself when I get a cut. Like I don't know how any of that
Yeah.
works, and it's definitely not just science, right?
Yeah.
Is that something is guiding me and telling me what to do, and I have this knowing, and I think that's what all of us have. So when you say, what do you want? You know the answer to that. Like, I
Hmm.
want to create, I want to help people be more confident and more beautiful and understand the power of their decisions, right?
Hmm.
Because I've made so many bad ones. And I especially love working with younger women in their teens and 20s, you know, so that I can save them the 20 years I wasted behaving
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah, but I almost wonder if it's like that's where we build that wisdom, right? Is in those mistakes. Sometimes I think we want to like save people from those mistakes, and to some degree I think we can, but it's almost like are we stealing their wisdom in a way? Sometimes I'm like maybe they're meant to go through a lot of things, but I do think that they would also be called to align with you and connect with you if they wanted to kind of propel forwards in a different way.
Yeah, and again, it's divine assignment, you know, and
Yeah.
following that, like meditation. I know before we hit the record button, you said about like this amazing best life ever meditation that you did and how that shifted everything. And because I truly believe we're energetic vibrational beings, and
Yeah.
when you get into a balance, and a harmonious place,
Hmm.
that's where the connection is, and all the other chattiness and the programming and the other things that the world sort of stuffs in our head is designed to keep us away from that communion with our soul and our
Hmm.
assignment on this
Hmm.
planet. And I mean, I've had a lot of things, and I always thought if I got all the things, then I would feel good, you know, then my life
Yeah.
would be complete. And even with all the things, you're like, something's missing, right? Like you
Hmm.
just feel this emptiness, and you're just like,
Yeah.
this isn't what I thought it would be. So, from my perspective of doing everything I was told and following the script, literally, you know,
Yeah.
and then realizing, like, actually, I'm here to do so much more. There's got to be more than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then following that direction. So, for me, again, prayer is the best place to start.
Hmm.
Shifting into gratitude when you're feeling that negativity, that entitlement, that victimhood, that, you know, that being really negativeness.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's a word, but, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
shift it, shift it, shift it, shift it. And
Yeah.
then, you know, really getting to the core of your personal blocks. That was the other thing too. Remember I told you I
Yeah.
spent over 6 figures on coaching and training and mentorship, but there was always, people would tell me what to do, but there was always this subconscious block that was like, oh no, I can't play that big. Oh no, I can't charge that much, right? Like, oh no, that doesn't feel good, right? But like, get out of your comfort zone, like go for it, because you are here for more. Absolutely. Everybody that's hearing this, under the sound of my voice, you are here for more. Go and find out what that is and do it. Dang it.
Yes. So that's a big thing I have with a lot of people, that they come in, they find that little nudge. They're, one of my clients is wanting to start a bit of a mom's group and do some women's weekend retreats, but there's a lot of buts. But I don't know how to do this, but I don't know how to do that. Or with a lot of people, actually, a lot of my friends that have entrepreneurial endeavors, there's a lot of that. I don't know how, but I don't know how to this. And what about that? I wanted to run a retreat, but I don't know if people pay this. And just again, it's kind of those negative thoughts. And I'm always just like, what if you did know? It's like, I want to program them into that positive thinking, the positive possibilities, and follow through. But what else would you say to someone like that has those ideas, but they're not propelled into action as much?
And you know what? And that's one of the things that led me to starting Tara Patten Stylist.com and helping people sort of style their business, is because I, for a long time, I was building websites, I was building logos, I was creating businesses for people before they actually had a real business. And a real business makes you profit, not just money, but makes you profit. And I always say to people, especially clients and consultants, I'm working with this one lady who's incredible, but she's a landscape designer, but she's like selling $20 plants herself on Facebook Marketplace. And she hired me to do her Pinterest ads and was like, I want to blow up on Pinterest. And I was like, okay, well, we need to have a system, what's your offer? And she didn't have a specific offer. She was just doing what people asked her to do when they came to her. Now she's got 30,000 followers on Instagram. She thought, oh, but I have all these followers, that means a business. I said, followers don't equal dollars, right? Like, keep it really simple and make it not about you. That's the best advice ever. Make it not about you. Make it about the people that need your help, because there are millions of them. There are millions of them, just like you, baby girl.
100%.
Right? There are 100%. So many. I know so many women, especially in your program, even, that have transformed. It is so beautiful. It has brought tears and to my soul, the level of transformation and recognition of who they truly are and why they're here. And it's not just about juice fasting or changing what you eat. It's about really having that understanding that, like, all this crap has been in the way of me being the best me I can be. So what what I always advise people is, like, take all this other stuff, even if you just have an idea, start making that offer to people, and then rinse and repeat, and just create a system for yourself where you're like, I like to make people over. I like to clean out their closets and take them shopping, or at least see what they have in them and help them wear it better. Like, I love to do that. So what's my offer, right? So I put a package together, and then I go on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, and I start making those offers to people. Hey, I solved this problem. Do you have it? If they say yes, I talk to them. I make them an offer. If they say no, I move on, right? Like, it's so simple and easy now that you don't even need that many people, right? Especially if you're charging, say you're charging $500, right? And you get one offer, one new client a week from one offer for $500. That's $2,000 a month. Like, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's a good place to start. And then you also have market, research and evidence that this is something that people want, because that's the other thing too. So I've created websites and logos and business systems. And we even ran an office space for this lady one time. She wanted the whole office and the conference room. This woman spent a ridiculous amount of money, but had never once sold anything. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. I see that a lot. I see a lot of people doing all the things except to get the clients.
Yeah. Your business is for them. Make it about them. Don't make it about your pretty logo or this or that. Nobody cares. Just so you know.
No, like, I appreciate what you said about not getting out of your own way. I think that is part of a daily prayer too, is like, this isn't about me. Who can I serve? This isn't about me. Who can I serve? I think that alone, I'm like, that can build a business with that intention and that heart set. A lot of people are waiting to, craft and offer a program of some sort. And I said, if you have a result that you're ready to give somebody, and like you just start, you just got to jump in and do it, and I think there's a little bit of just that faith and belief in yourself, again, is like just stepping in and trusting, but having that this isn't about me, and taking those daily actions. So I love it. So I would love to hear from you. What would you say is your top three things that help you live your best life ever?
Remembering that I am far more powerful than I give myself credit for
Mm-hmm.
on a daily basis, remembering the power that I have in my own life and impacting others,
Mm-hmm.
and utilizing that power with care and kindness um,
Mm-hmm.
is super important, and something I do every day. Prayer and asking for guidance. Again, I can't stress that enough. I always say,
Mm-hmm.
I want to just know you better and love you a little more today, God. Like, show me how to do
Mm-hmm.
that. And He puts people in my path so that I can know Him and love Him more on those people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I would say is, probably one of the most important things that I wish somebody had told me a long time ago is going back to, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Make
Mm-hmm.
smart decisions over who gets your time, your energy, your love. And are you doing that for yourself too? Are you
Mm-hmm.
making good decisions on a daily basis? Because for me, at this point in this process, like, it actually feels bad when I make a bad decision, or when I say something that's maybe not as kind as it could have been. I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that hurt. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say, use your power wisely, pray, and make good decisions.
Mm, love that so much. That's so amazing. And Tara is a guest expert in our inner glow transformation, which I'm so excited about, because as you go through the inner journey, it's so beautiful to help match on the outside, and work through fashion and your personal appearance. And it's something that I'm like way more inspired about since knowing Tara. I'm like, okay, wow, like it's powerful in how much it does build your confidence, and in the way you present yourself, and how you feel on a daily basis. I know some people, I remember hearing a phrase once that they said, oh, this one woman on I think her name's Charlene Johnson or something.
Shailene Johnson, yeah, she's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah. And she said something about, some people meditate, I put my makeup on. She's like, putting her makeup on is her meditation in the morning, and she gets to feel put together, and then she can go out in her day, and that's how she presents herself. And I definitely can relate to that, because I know a lot of times I have, when I work from home, you're like, yeah, I could just wear my house coat all day and work, but you just don't have that presence about you, don't have that happiness and the joy that really can shine through when you have all of that. So I'm so excited to have Tara as our guest expert in our program. And you'll get to experience some of her, for those of you that are in the 90-day transformation. And if you want to work with Tara individually, whether you have looking for your own fashion style, helping build your brand, your business. She is, I love her phrase that she pulls the gold out of your business. Like, a lot of times if you have an existing business, that's what she did for me. She already took out the gold that was already there and was able to showcase it, which was amazing and such a huge support in my business. But how can people reach out to you, Tara, if they want to connect with you and work with you on a more personal level?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. Yeah, work with what you got, people.
Yeah.
And you can visit my website, Tara Patten Stylist, TaraPatten, stylist.com. I'm also on Instagram under Tara Patten Stylist. And, reach out to me there, and, let's jump on a call and talk about it. And, we went shopping together in New York, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
That was amazing.
most of my clients are like you, are really stylish. They know, but it's like, if you could describe that experience, right? Like, we made a lot of progress in a very small amount of time, right? We covered
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
ground, and we also pulled a couple things that you would have walked right past, right? Like those shoes.
That's what I love, is like when you have someone that can see you and see your style, and then put shoes that I would never have put on, and then when Tara pulls them out, and I'm just like, wow, and it's amazing how fun that is, and how cool it is to have those pieces now too. Like, I'm like, I own them, and they're just part of my wardrobe now. And it's fun because I tend to choose like whites and plains and things like that. But I love sprucing it up, and you're so good at that, even with the jewelry and how to like pull things together. It's amazing, amazing what a difference can make. I think I've had compliments a lot about different pieces that I have. And I'm like, I feel like it's inspired by Tara. Like I just have this little Tara in my head when I shop now too, which is so fun, you know?
Oh, that makes me so happy. That was the best shopping
Yeah.
day ever. We had so much fun because it was COVID. So they wouldn't let us try on the shoes. You had to like take them
Yeah.
to the try on area, and I've got like 5 shoe boxes and
Yeah, that
stupid
was so
masks
weird
and
that they wouldn't. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. But anyways,
oh,
we are so thankful that you took the time to listen to this podcast
yes.
with all of with us. And the biggest thing I want everybody to take from this is to really just take some notes and reflect in your own life of where you're at, and just know that all things are possible. You can truly live your best life ever, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you may be going through. When you hold that intention and that conviction and that faith, you can absolutely transform your life, and you have so much to look forward to. And usually on the other side of that pain or that struggle is the butterfly birthing. So hold on to that. Tara's a beautiful example of that. And thank you so much, Tara, for joining me. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to continue to have you on with our 90-day transformation clients, because they are just little rock stars. You're a rock star, and I appreciate you so much.
I cannot wait. Have a beautiful day. I love you.
Love you.